This Supreme Court decision could affect more than immigration. It could affect South Florida's workforce. I'm outside the federal courthouse in downtown West Palm Beach, where local leaders say ending temporary protected status, or TPS, for Haitians could leave gaps in industries like healthcare, construction, hospitality, and restaurants. Now, supporters say Haiti is still far too dangerous to return, but the Trump administration says TPS was always meant to be temporary, and people who no longer have legal status should return to their home country. We have a lot more information already on our website, cbs12.com. Go check it out.
Well, TPS was always meant to be used for humanitarian purposes. They are everywhere in the fabric of our workplace. In our nursing homes, assisted living facilities, hospitals, restaurants, construction.
Might have to drop a dime on them. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Stop. I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
Alright, y'all, we back with another video, man. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing help, wealth, and to better understand the self. So check this out, y'all. Everybody is comparing the Haitian TPS removal to the South African immigration policies that they're going through, right?
Even if the whole Nigerians come here, I will not agree with them that Nigeria, with all the resources, with our numbers, one single Nigeria should go outside this country to go and look for greener pasture. It is uncalled for. Okay, how many US citizens are in South Africa hustling? How many Canadians are in South Africa hustling? Please answer me.
So a lot of people are actually comparing FBA to the South Africans. And I don't think it's no similarities at all. Over here, we're doing, you know, we're trying to take control over our resources. Like you seen when we boycotted Asia. We now in the midst of doing to the Indian stores, okay, the Arab stores and the corner stores. And it's not where we like doing what South Africans are doing, is beating people and all of that. We just pulling our dollars away from them. I think that's more effective.
Thousands of foreigners have left South Africa. Some of them were repatriated by their countries. Others used their own money to get out. So assuming that a lot of these foreigners had some kind of employment, i.e. they were working somewhere, that means those factories and companies where they used to work, there are now vacancies. South Africans who have been unemployed, some of them say for years, are now applying to get some of those jobs. They're lining up here, they're filling out forms, and they hope that after filling out these forms, the forms will be taken to the various companies, and maybe they'll get jobs.
As the others are chasing these foreigners away, at the end of the day, there is a space, there's a vacuum on business now. So we have to fit in now and say our people must continue to work as they're supposed to, and must not be exploited, because all the employers were employing foreigners because of the exploitation.
According to South Africa's government, there are more than 3 million immigrants in the country. Those are the ones that are documented. No one knows how many don't have papers in the country because they aren't in the system. Most foreigners come from countries from Southern Africa like Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. When they get to this country, they stay in these informal areas, many of them, because it's cheaper. But here they compete with the locals for scarce resources such as jobs. Now, these attacks on foreigners happen every couple of years, usually just before elections. And while thousands of foreigners have left South Africa, many of them saying they're not going anywhere.
Okay, they're actually, you know, not having black people that's coming into the country, but people look at it over here and they say, oh, you're just doing that to other black people. But I think Africa is different because it's mostly melanated people. I ain't gonna say black. It's mostly melanated people. So immigration has always been a tool for white supremacy. Okay, if you notice, anytime, you know, we had a war, like when we had the war with Japan, and Muhammad Ali was like, hey man, I'm not going to war over there. I think that white supremacy always uses people from other countries, and they bring them to other countries because it's a form of slavery. This is not your land. You know, you mostly all you can do is work and get resources.
I first met Farah LaRue earlier this year.
It's just killing our dreams, our passion, and our goals.
She grew up in Haiti, and under temporary protected status, she was able to grow her marketing business here in South Florida.
My dream is to become the most successful Haitian woman entrepreneur of the world.
I followed up with Farah after the U.S. Supreme Court gave the Trump administration the authority to revoke TPS for Haitians.
Now I have to reconsider everything just to fight for my rights to exist. And this is for why? For what reason?
She tells me she's now working with an immigration attorney on her asylum claim. And she's not alone in that strategy.
Asylum law is very specific in who will and will not qualify. So a lot of people aren't going to qualify for that form of relief.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has said temporary protected status should be just that.
Now, here in America, we see a lot of immigrant politicians. And if you don't know by now, all immigrants are getting played here in America. They're not at a point to where they are just getting over. The politicians are playing the immigrants. Okay? Just like in our community, you know, you got the Democrats is just playing our Black American women, okay, in the politics. But that's just how it goes. Nobody's winning, everybody's getting pimped. But people don't know they're getting pimped because some people like that feeling of having some type of power or having some type of authority over people. But we noticing now that taking back your resources and understanding, having some boundaries on immigration only helps the people from the land. So we're seeing a lot of videos of immigration and people that's from the particular place is upset with people coming there and, you know, getting resources. So I just don't like how everybody's comparing how FBA is xenophobic like South Africa when it's not the same thing going on. But they're not talking about the resources that people are not getting because immigrants are coming in. So maybe a lot of people don't feel that immigration is a tool for white supremacy. So I can see what South Africans are talking about, but I can also see what people are talking about with not having the same energy for the YT people. And the best way to do that, I think, is with your money, with your dollars. I don't think forcefully moving somebody, but I think definitely financially making sure the money that you are spending is going to your people. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, everybody does that. So for anybody that feels some type of way about Black Americans putting their dollars to use and building their own infrastructures and business, I think something wrong with you, right? But we know that it has to be some type of force, some type of political movement on discrediting FBA. Whatever chance somebody get, they always want to use FBA name in a way to discredit the things that we're trying to push and what we're standing for, all right? But I'm going to show y'all this clip of what they are going through in Haiti, Haitians, and South Africa, and all the countries around South Africa that's coming to South Africa. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that. Let's get it.
No, please don't beg me. She's in an advanced stage of pregnancy. It's quite common for pregnant ladies to travel overseas so that they can have the baby in whichever country to automatically get that passport. What's your final destination today?
No, today.
Today?
Today, London.
Okay.
So I'm going to the US tomorrow.
You're going to the US tomorrow, okay. When you went for your American visa, did you tell the visa officer that you were pregnant?
No.
You didn't? No. Okay. So there any reason why you didn't tell the visa officer that you were pregnant?
It didn't come up.
It didn't come up. Okay, what I'm going to do is...
The woman is only 7 weeks away from giving birth, yet has decided to visit her sister in America, claiming she will return 3 weeks before her due
It says
date.
that you're fit to travel. Babies born in the UK don't automatically qualify for a British passport, but babies born in the US do automatically qualify for an American passport. So it's quite common for pregnant ladies to travel overseas so that they can have the baby in whichever country to automatically get that passport.
Sarah is suspicious of the woman's motive for travelling to the US via the UK, but she could also be in breach of airline regulations for travelling whilst pregnant.
When is she due?
5th of June.
When is her return?
16th of May. So she's got 3 weeks between her return date and her due date, which makes her 37 weeks pregnant, which is over every airline's limit.
The woman is in breach of the airline's policy, but as she has a valid US visa, Sarah must now contact the US Embassy.
Hi, it's Sarah. I'm at the airport at the moment. I just wondered if you could give a call to the American Embassy so that they can check an American visa for me. She's at the airport today and she's in an advanced state of pregnancy. So if you can just give them a call and find out if they're happy with that, and if so, then we can let her travel.
It's minutes before the flight leaves, but whether or not the pregnant woman will be on board is up to the US Embassy.
Right, okay, all right, I'll do that then. Okay, thanks very much. All right, thank you, bye-bye. Okay, that was the American Embassy and they want to speak to her today.
The flight will be leaving without the pregnant woman. Now Sarah must tell her the news.
So what I've done is I've contacted the visa man and explained your situation. What he'd like to do is can you go back to the embassy here in Lagos, show him all this paperwork, and he'll want to speak to you. I'm sorry, I know it's frustrating, but if you can go back to him, because Madam,
I'm begging.
No, please don't beg me. Please don't beg me. No, Madam, please don't beg me.
People that are pregnant that do go and all that.
The pregnant woman did not make it to the USA. When she failed to turn up at the American Embassy,
South Africa has reached a breaking point.
Saying this peacefully, you should please go to your country.
We are sick and tired with the Somalians, with the Pakistanians.
A total of 6,000 police officers have been deployed in various parts of the Free State as the country prepares for...
A civic movement called March and March set an unofficial deadline for undocumented immigrants to voluntarily leave the country.
We are tired of foreigners.
More than 15,000 people marched through the Durban CBD. Thousands more gathered in Johannesburg, Pretoria and Cape Town simultaneously. Shops shuttered along entire streets before the marches even began. The South African government deployed police across all 9 provinces at a cost of 600 million rand. And when the marches concluded, they were largely peaceful. But here is what matters most. The movement's leader, Jacinta Nogobese Zuma, made one thing very clear from the podium. For as long as they haven't left, we are marching every Thursday. Every Thursday for the next 6 months until they are gone.
Of June, now we're on to round 2, and then we'll be on to round 3.
This did not end at a deadline, it just got started.
The minute they come in here, they come with babies on their backs, and then everyone forgets that South Africans has its own babies that it needs to take care of. They have children, they must take care of those children in their own countries.
Who is behind this and what do they actually want? March and March was founded by Jacinta Nogobese Zuma. She led thousands through Durban, physically in discomfort, but at the front of the march regardless. A memorandum was handed to city officials. And her message was direct. The law already exists. The Employment Services Act states clearly that employers can only hire foreign nationals after establishing no suitably qualified South African is available. The movement's argument is not that new laws are needed. It is that the laws already on the books are simply not being enforced. Nekosikona Ndabandaba, known online as Fakalom Thakathi, with over 1.4 million followers, is another visible figure in the movement. Having met privately with President Cyril Ramaphosa ahead of the marches to urge peaceful demonstrations. Notably, Ngobe Zuma was not invited to that presidential meeting. She said she found out about it on social media. That tension between 2 of the movement's most prominent faces is worth watching closely. The country underneath the protest.
South Africa can pay South Africans 1 million every year for the rest of their lives.
To understand why 15,000 people take to the streets, you have to understand the country they are marching in. South Africa has the best road infrastructure on the African continent. It has the largest gold deposits in the world, a constitution among the most progressive ever written, and a youth unemployment rate above 40%. 40%. Nearly half of every young South African trying to enter the workforce, unable to find work. The country has the largest concentration of immigrants in Africa, approximately 5% of its total population.
People are coming. This is another family who try and get out of South Africa as soon as possible.
For decades, gold mines subsidized wages by hiring foreign workers willing to accept lower pay, and that arrangement built a pattern of migration that has never been seriously managed at a policy level. Hospitals in certain areas report medicine shortages. Criminal activity in some communities has intensified. And ordinary South Africans are navigating all of it daily without meaningful government intervention. Julius Malema has said publicly that the immigrants being protested are not the ones occupying office jobs, they are low-level workers, and that what South Africans truly need is a clean-up of corruption at the highest levels, not a march at the lowest ones. That argument has real merit. But it does not land well with a 23-year-old in Durban who cannot find work and watches a foreign national employed in the shop down the road. Both realities are true at the same time. That is exactly what makes this so difficult. And the rest of Africa has responded. Malawi has dispatched buses and repatriated over 20,000 of its citizens. Lesotho and Zimbabwe have joined the repatriation effort. Ghana has cancelled certain mining contracts with South African companies. Nigeria has threatened to boycott South African businesses operating on Nigerian soil, MTN, MultiChoice, DSTV. South African artists have had shows cancelled across the continent. What began as a domestic protest has become a pan-African economic and diplomatic story, and the South African government is caught in the middle, defending the rule of law while trying to convince the rest of Africa that its citizens are safe. So where does this go? March and March is not asking the government's permission to continue. Every Thursday, for 6 months, that is the public commitment. The question South Africa now faces is whether a government fighting a presidential impeachment. Ramaphosa is battling a corruption inquiry over $580,000 found hidden on his game farm, while managing one of the continent's worst youth unemployment crises, can produce a serious, enforceable immigration policy before the pressure on the streets becomes unmanageable. The real enemy of ordinary South Africans is not the Malawian crossing a border or the Nigerian running a shop. The real enemy is decades of governance that consumed the resources this country needed to fix all of these problems before they reached this point. But that is a harder enemy to march against. Will things get better if every undocumented immigrant leaves? Or is the real work the harder one, fixing the corruption and governance failure that allowed this crisis to build in the first place? Drop your answer in the comments. I want all sides heard. I am GrayBTC. Stay sharp. Visit graybtc.io.
A community must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive and compete.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.